Hello and good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning here in the wonderful town of Dunville. I love my hometown and I love my people. I was off last week, but not for any other reason than I was just stupid busy, and it was my birthday. It was being a little selfish. I try not to do that too often, but I'm going to start this week with gratitude. And I really want to say thank you to everybody that took the time to reach out, everybody that showed me some love. I was definitely in tears more than once last week. Let me put it that way. So anybody that took the time to say happy birthday, thank you. I really appreciate you. You don't know how much it means. It's funny. I find who reaches out. How do I explain this? I've had several different lives. I've worked in the film business. I've worked in finance. I worked in the bars. I've been around a while. I was 47, I turned. So I've had a few different incarnations of the Jeff that you see here. And it was really interesting to me to see who just thought enough to say, hey, happy birthday. It's kind of cool. People that you think about, but you don't necessarily think about you when they show you some love. It really means something. I was definitely in tears more than once last week. Thank you. Huge thank you to my girlfriend and my family and Kirsten and Sierra. You guys are freaking incredible. I love you guys. I'm going to get teary-eyed now just thinking about all this stuff. Anyhow, I want to start this week out strong. Obviously starting with some gratitude, but I want to talk about communication. I'm going to start a whole communication series on here. I have a book coming out. Here's something I haven't communicated that I need to. Anybody who bought the book last year, thank you very much. I'm so sorry it's taken so long. However, the book and I both needed some time to grow. It's going to be a much, much better product that you're going to get more bang for your buck. I'm really going to put some of the best stuff I've learned this last year, because this year has been all about growth for me. And I think it's really going to be something. So to the people that bought the book already, I'm going to have some bonuses for you. I'm going to have some great stuff to make up for the time lapse, but I haven't forgotten about you, and you're going to get my best. That's what I really wanted to put out there. Anyhow, that'll be up for sale soon. Anybody who has, also if you bought it, you'll get it way before everybody else. I'll probably give you a first draft as well. Anyhow, well, not the first draft, but a draft that's not the final product. Communication. Communication, I believe, is hardest when we are in our own heads. And we get in our own heads a lot. I know I've been guilty of it more times than I can count truly. But I think it's worst after grief. I'm not properly caffeinated yet. Grief causes us to go inside. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a loss of a relationship, a financial loss. Loss causes us to go inside. And a lot of times when we go inside, we don't understand what's going on in there. And we always fear what we don't understand. I remember the least in control I've ever felt. It happened twice. One, I was 17 and I lost my best friend in a car accident. May he rest in peace, Aaron Kitchen. And I remember just falling to my knees in the snow when I got the phone call. I remember exactly where I was. I'll never forget that. I was 17. I already said that. The other time was when I realized there was nothing I could do about my mom having cancer. It's the loss of control. It's the loss of power that we all seem to suffer from that causes that grief. It's not so much, here's the one thing I've learned about loss. Love is more powerful than death. How do I explain that? Love is more powerful than death. And I know this because when my mom passed away, I could still feel the love. She wasn't on this same dimensional plane that we were, but I could still feel the love. And if the love still exists, then somewhere that bond has to still be a thing. And whether you want to call that heaven or another dimension of the universe, whatever, that's up to you. I don't really care. But I do believe that if that bond still exists, then there has to be something that's bonded to. That's all I can say. Now, beyond that, I know that when I broke down, again, that one I remember exactly where I was. I was in my apartment in Toronto. I almost dropped you there, sorry. And I just started bawling my eyes out. I was standing against the wall. I fell down to the floor. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of control. And I think that's really where that grief comes from, is the complete loss of control. We don't have, most of the time, especially a lot of us, when we're dealing with grief, exert whatever control we can over the environment around us or the people around us. That's the worst one. Obsessive cleaners, people that have to have everything in place, people that try to control everything are truly just trying to control other things so they don't feel out of control. So how do we stop this? Well, first of all, we have to understand that this is a natural process. This is what we're going to go through. And if you refuse to go through it, then you're always going to be coming right up against the emotion and backing down. And that is the worst thing we can do for ourselves. We have to go through that point where we feel like we're going to lose control. It's almost like when you are going to pass out and you feel your knees getting weak and you got to hold yourself up. But the fact of the matter is, you will fall, but you won't die unless you fall off of something high, but try not to do that. You're gonna go through the emotions. You don't have a choice. You either live in the pain or you go through the pain. You have to get through that emotional block to actually feel all the emotions, let go of control, because it'll be all right. You have to let go of the steering wheel sometimes, not in real life, but because once you go through that, on the other side is where you start to heal. And unless you go through it and you let go and you feel all of the intensity of the emotion, then you're not going to start to heal. You're going to keep repeating the same thing over and over. Go right up to the emotion, maybe have some drinks, do some drugs, whatever you do to cope with it, and push it back down. And guess what? You're going to go back into that cycle again. And it's going to pop up again. And whatever consequences come with it, because they are consequences, not just symptoms, but consequences, well, then you're going to have to deal with that again too. Now, all that being said, there is light at the other end of the tunnel. You just have to go far enough through it to be able to see it. And if you keep stopping at the part where it's the darkest and running back to the beginning, you're bound to keep repeating that cycle. Just keep going through it. And once you've made it all the way through, once you've made it, I just got a text. It's a really good thing. There's a huge announcement coming. I'm hoping to be able to make it this week. Sorry. Yes, Terry, I freaking love you. I can't wait to tell you. I'm a little excited. Can you tell? I'm weird. Sorry, I've been working on this a while. I'm a little joyful about it. I can't wait to share it with you. It's big news. Anyhow, going up to the emotion, going halfway through the tunnel and running back to the start ain't the way to do it. You've got to let go of control. You've got to go through all of the emotions. And it's only on the other side of the emotions that the healing can start, once you start to see the other side of that tunnel. It's not easy, and it's not pretty, and we all let our ego get in the way of our better self. And I can promise you, once you feel the full weight of those emotions and you cry, you let it all out, things are going to be a whole lot better. It's cleansing. And you can stop living in your own head, because that's the problem. The more we live in our own head, the worse our lives are. I know. We can work up anything to be the most daunting task. I remember when just making a pot of coffee was the hardest thing you could possibly imagine. Now, it's hard because I didn't get coffee yesterday and I forgot and I had to buy one. But I promise you, if you let go, feel all of the emotions, it'll get better. And once it starts to get better, keep the momentum going. There will be a plateau, we'll say, a numbness, a feeling of what the hell is the point? But that's where you got to reach out to the people around you. Because it's only when we help other people around us and we start living outside of ourselves that we truly understand the meaning of life. That's where the juice is. That's where things start happening again. When you start to pour yourself into other people instead of sitting in your own head thinking about, how bad things are and how much you miss somebody or how much you wish that relationship hadn't ended or blah, 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 the dark night of the soul. You got to go through it. But you don't have to go through it alone. And that's the worst thing that all of us do. I remember my friends Tim and Tiffany teaching me to ask for help. And I had been in a, quick story. I had been in a network marketing company. I had a upline that, they just weren't helping. In fact, they were hindering, and it sucked. Because every time I did use them, it was a mistake. And then for a long time, I made an even bigger mistake. And I kept working and doing it myself. And it felt like I was going up against a brick wall. And it wasn't until I reached out. I didn't even reach out, Tiff. I was forced to call her to help and use the system the way it was supposed to be with three-way calls and stuff like that. And I remember instantly getting this massive boost in my business because I was working it the correct way. And it really required me to ask other people for help. That was the hardest thing for me, was asking other people for help until I was forced to ask them for help. Not in any bad way. It was just very funny because I wasn't good at it. And once I was shown that it's a good thing with the right people, it was a whole different way of living. So there's a couple more people. Thank you, Tim and Tiff. I love you guys. Anyhow, if you're going through stuff right now, if you're dealing with it, if you're in that spot just before the worst of it and it keeps coming back, all I can say is it gets better after that. It's going to get darker before it gets lighter, but it gets better after that. Go through the emotions. Don't suppress them. Don't medicate to put them back down. Deal with it. Feel the full brunt of it. Because I promise you, once you get through that, there will be good times again. There will be laughter. There will be joy. There will be love. But if you isolate, stay inside your own head, and build that little cocoon around yourself, you don't have a chance at that anymore. Anyhow, that's it for me today. If you want to know more about what I've been doing, go to Tools and Tactics, PTSDprevention.com. There's a free book to download. It's not the big book that I will be selling soon, but it's a free book, and I think it's going to help a lot of people, especially it's aimed at first responders, but anybody that's dealing with crap in their head, it's going to help. Anyhow, that's it for me today. Until tomorrow, know that I love you. I'll see you soon.